everyone, welcome back to the Team Garbage Fire podcast. I am Corey.
Yes, he is, and I am Thrashing Wumpus.
He's still a thrashing wumpus.
Ah!
So we got another episode for you guys, but let's get the boring stuff out of the way first.
Okay.
Go
for it.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
So we got a website, Team Garbage Fire. We can be emailed at teamgarbagefire@gmail.com. We are on Instagram and Twitter at Team Garbage Fire. Let's see what else.
I feel bad for the people following us on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah, we have no Twitter presence.
I apologize.
Let's see what else. You derailed me. Oh, we're on YouTube.
That we are.
And if you're watching us on YouTube, please comment, like, and subscribe. And hit that little bell so you get some notifications.
Did you already say Facebook?
Yes, we are on Facebook. We have a Facebook group. And we actually have a shout-out this week. We had someone join the group. One person.
Yes.
One person. It's very exciting. And I'm leaning over so I can see. I do believe it is Eric Franz.
What's up, Eric?
Thank you for joining. We appreciate it.
Me.
And let's see, news. I think we've
No.
Oh yeah. We're joined, of course, as every time, by Clever Tree Productions. They can be found at clevertreeprod.com.
And
Owen has been a great help today. We worked on trying to get my port shawl taken care of.
Oh yeah, but no, you gotta say it. You gotta say it, dude.
Don't prod the tree.
All right, ASMR bullshit.
So, let's see, news. There's a little magic-related news. This might be up your alley. It actually comes from the world of Hearthstone, which I know is not up your alley. But did you hear about their championship they just had?
No, sir.
So the winner actually had all of their status and prize money taken away because they used their winner's acceptance speech to talk about Hong Kong. Brian Kibler, after they stripped him of his title and his prize money, not only Kibler but a few others have said that they are no longer going to continue to work with Blizzard and Activision. Kibler's the tie into Magic and kind of esports.
Oh, so that was a Hearthstone thing.
There's a Hearthstone thing.
Yeah, okay.
But Brian Kibler's the tie into Magic.
Because I didn't think Magic would do something like that.
No, Magic
would
would
probably why it didn't come across my
Yeah.
dashboard. Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of the big news there as far as the gaming entertainment world, stuff like that.
You know, freedom is a thing
Yeah.
that people kind of want.
Yeah.
Not trying to make this political or anything, but fuck you, China.
And we're now banned from China, just like South Park.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool.
Fuck 'em.
So, we actually wanted to do a couple things this
We're missing Aaron.
we are missing Aaron.
I mean, we're not actually missing him.
we get
in
to
our
see him
hearts,
we get to see him before this started.
but he's not here.
Yeah, not physically. I know
He didn't die or anything.
he's just doing Aaron things.
Yeah, he's being a little puss is what he's being. Whatever.
And so we had a plan for this episode. So we're gonna start. Yeah, you laugh. Sometimes we have plans. Sometimes we just seat of our pants.
That's how I live my life. Seat of the pants.
Yep. So this first half, we're gonna bring you a deck tech on Bogles,
Which is probably one of the most tier retaining decks.
Yeah, but I mean, I remember for 1 month, it almost got pushed up into tier 1. It was doing really well.
Yeah.
It's a constant ebb and flow of how well it does.
Yeah, it's kind of like Merfolk.
Yep.
Where it
could do nothing for 6 months and then spike a tournament.
Yeah, you take it to the right. It lies low. It'll do nothing, and then it'll be like, oh, someone brought it to a tournament, and bam,
Yep.
it's on.
It's kicking butts again.
So, but this is...
Well, before we get into that, we also have a level up section in the second half where we're going to talk about a few things that we have learned through our journey. And I think we'll probably start that topic out with a little history.
About Bogles. All right, go on.
So, you realize interrupting me, I would be there by now, but now I have to backtrack.
No, I'm just gonna keep interrupting you.
That is no. You should change your name from Thrashing Wumpus to Interrupting Wumpus.
Interrupting one piece. Make me a card.
So we will on the second half we'll do some level ups, like some personal level ups that we've had over the years, and we'll probably start that section off by revealing how long we've been playing this game.
Long enough.
So
long enough to see the little divots in the cards from playing them on the gravel in the schoolyard. Yep.
So let's get into Bogles. Which part do you want to start with? We want to talk about how the deck. How about you tell me how the deck attacks a game, and then we'll go into the deck list.
I mean, the secret to Bogles is really just keep a hand with a Bogle in it.
And for those of you who don't know, a Bogle it comes from the card Slippery Bogle. It's a 1/1 for 1 that has hexproof, and Gladecover Scout is also the same. It just gets lumped in and called a Bogle because it has hexproof.
Yeah, it's a 1/1 for 1 that has hexproof, so it makes it a Bogle. Once again, eventually we are going to do an episode on Magic slang.
Yep.
But today is not your fucking day. So.
Yes, let's lean forward here.
Lean forward. A big addition to the deck.
Well, how is the game plan for Bogles?
Okay, game plan for Bogles is you play a Bogle and then you attach a cheap aura or some sort of enchantment to it, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, one of the terms I've heard is some people go wide, like a tokens deck.
Yep, lots of creatures.
Wide,
yep,
and then Bogles just goes tall.
Yeah.
So you play a Bogle turn 1, turn 2. You hope to either attach a Rancor or an Ethereal Armor. Turn 2, your real hope is to go. Turn 1, you play your Bogle.
Yep.
Turn 2, you go enchantment.
Yep.
And at the very least, it's 3/3.
Yeah, at minimum.
Or, like a 3/1 or whatever. And then you swing. It's a fairly aggressive deck.
Yep.
I play Unflinching Courage, which a lot of people don't play, because against certain decks, it's very important to have the lifelink.
Yep.
In there.
Yep. And I think we'll get into, because what I think we'll do is we'll go over each of the sections. I have a feeling we'll probably start with creatures, then go into the enchantments, and then wrap it up with the lands as far as our discussion goes.
So yeah, you've got a 4 of the Gladecover Scouts and the Slippery Bogles.
Yep.
Most people play more
or less
Hyena Ledgewalkers, which is a 1 and a green.
Yeah.
For 1/1.
And it can block creatures with flying.
It can block creatures with flying, and it has hexproof. I like it. It's a good out at some point.
I know this is a card that you're still wondering about.
A lot of decks play many Kor Spiritdancers.
But they don't have hexproof.
They don't have hexproof, but it gets +2/+2 for each aura attached to it, and whenever you cast an aura spell, you may draw a card, and card draw is never a bad thing.
Yeah, especially in 2 colors that don't get it very often.
But when it's the only creature you have on the board, it's not great. And then a lot of decks play, and mine included, play a 1 of Dryad Arbor, which you can fetch if you're playing against.
Especially, I love holding up a fetch land when you're playing against black for Liliana.
Yeah.
So when they go -2, you can fetch and get that, and you don't have to lose your Boggle.
You don't have to lose your dude. So Dryad Arbor, for those who don't know, is a land creature, forest dryad. And it's a land, but it's also a 1/1 creature. So you can fetch that and then sack it.
And that's the creature suite. And of course, what you want to do then is load them up with enchantments.
Oh, so many good enchantments.
Let's
start with the Umbras.
Sure, yeah.
So we're playing 3 of
each
Hyena and Spider Umbras. So for 1 green, enchant creature. This is the Spider Umbra. Enchant creature gets +1/+1 and has reach.
And the beautiful things about the Umbras is that they give them totem armor, and it says if enchanted creature would be destroyed, remove all damage from it and then destroy this aura. So it's
like a force field.
Yeah.
And then the Hyena is enchanted creature has +1/+1 and first strike.
And the totem armor clause as well.
As well. And so I'm going to go through all of this, and then I'm going to get to these 2. Or these 3.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I'm playing 1 Keen Sense. I'm really thinking I'm going to go up to 2 and take out the core.
Yep, because I know that's kind of been a...
Because this is a draw clause as well, but that this is nothing that you guys need to be concerned about. But I'm playing 1 of Keen Sense, and it's enchant creature. Doesn't do anything, but it does do something when we get down the line. Whenever enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. And this is a card I've also kind of been on the edge about, but it is very good against like the black decks. Yep. As you were saying, it's Cartouche of Solidarity. It's 1 white. No, it's white.
Just a single white mana.
One white mana.
Its converted mana cost is 1.
Enchant creature you control. When Cartouche of Solidarity enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white warrior creature token with vigilance. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has first strike. And
that just adds an extra body on the field.
I found that handy when I was playing against 8-Rack.
Yep.
You know? Yeah. Slap that on. The end.
Yep.
Fuck you. All right.
What do we got next?
Next we have Spirit Mantle, which is 1 and a white.
2 CMC.
Enchanted creature has +1/+1 and has protection from creatures. And that, a lot of people play that as a sideboard card.
Yep. I think it's just fine, especially like once we get into the last 3 enchantments we're going to talk about.
Yeah, well, the way the decks have been going.
Yep.
You've got TT running around. You've got humans running around. I think that is
a thing.
An acceptable card. And here's my other random. I run Unflinching Courage. I know a lot of people don't like it.
I don't care.
It's 1 green and white, 3 CMC. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has trample and lifelink.
And isn't that like the modern legal armadillo cloak?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the exact same card.
It's an effective. It is a reprint, but just different name.
Yeah, and it's modern legal, but it
does some stuff. It does
work.
The trample, I think, is what really pushes it over the top.
The lifelink is really what gets me.
Yep. Well, there's always something that in a card that different people will appreciate. I appreciate the trample.
I
And you
appreciate the artwork.
I appreciate the artwork too. I want to tackle this last one before we get into the big three, and you have chosen to play. I've seen this number fluctuate because this is essentially a meta-dependent call. You're running 2 Leyline of Sanctity in your main.
Yes.
Leyline of Sanctity is 2 white. Guess what? It's an enchantment. And it essentially says it has the Leyline ability. If it's in your opening hand, you can put it onto the battlefield for free. And it also says you have hexproof.
Yep.
So whenever I'm playing Burn against Heath, I cross my fingers and hope that he's down to the 2 in his deck and he hasn't drawn one.
Well, London Mulligan helps a lot with that.
Yes, it does.
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah.
That way you can really...
We'll get into that later in the episode.
You want to cover these last three?
Well, talking about enchantment counts.
Yep.
And this, this is one of the 3 cards that really make this deck. And it is Ethereal Armor.
Yep. Single white. For guess what? Is it an enchantment aura? Because I think it's an enchantment aura.
I'm pretty sure it's an enchantment aura.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure it counts itself.
I can't count anyway.
Well, enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each enchantment you control, and has first strike.
Mm-hmm.
It's.
I hate this card. No, the design is beautiful. I hate playing against it.
It made this deck. That card made this deck, and then there's always.
Oh, and then there's like the Blast from the Past. That's also an auto 4 of in this deck. And not that one.
Well, yeah, both of them actually.
Well, I was thinking.
I'm pretty sure that anyone watching this podcast know what the next 2 cards are going to be.
I don't know.
Pause right now and think about it.
And just guess.
All right.
Okay, here we are. Yeah, let's talk about them. Let's talk about them. The only reason why I say old school is because we have 2 from the original printing.
Well, when my only request for Christmas was these ones, I was like, give me the dude with the halo, not the tiger dude.
Yep.
All right, but Rancor.
I've always loved this card.
It was one of my go-tos when I was playing way back in the day and getting them all full of gravel. Rancor.
Read the original printing text on it.
I just want to hold it close to my heart for a moment. Enchanted creature gets +2/+0 and trample. When Rancor is put into a graveyard from play, return Rancor to its owner's hand. So good.
Mm-hmm.
Just, so good. And that.
And it's some pretty sweet Kev Walker art too.
Oh yeah, and they've never printed it with other art.
No, because it's just so solid. This, on the other hand, the original art is still the best.
Oh yeah, no, that's why I said get me the guy with the crown, not the stupid kitty dude.
And I am waiting for the day that we actually get these future sight borders, because I like them. Because that's how you hold your hand.
Oh yeah, no, I know all about it. They're never gonna do it, but whatever.
Maybe we can get a future sight.
Daybreak Coronet. They reprinted it. The artwork's worse.
I do like the stipulation on this card, but it is just like stupid. It's stupid.
Well, in this deck, it is stupid.
Yeah.
In this deck, it's worthless. Daybreak Coronet. Enchant creature with another aura attached to it. That's the stipulation. Enchanted creature gets +3/+3 and has first strike, vigilance, and lifelink.
Yep.
Yeah. What more do I have to say about that?
No, exactly.
It's good.
And we'll just like quickly crank through the mana base because there's a few things to talk about. It really comes down to personal preferences. Right here, we're running 3 Windswept Heath, just for fetch, and 4 Temple Gardens because shock lands are a thing. A Razorverge Thicket and 1 Sunpetal Grove, which I know you've been wanting to like maybe change the Sunpetal Grove for something else.
Yeah.
Maybe another Razorverge Thicket.
Yeah.
Or just
not
another
a huge
fast
fan
land.
Of that.
We're running 2, 4, 5 plains, 3 forests. I love how one of these is like revised. Like none of these arts really match. And then the piece de resistance, 4 Horizon Canopy, one of which is foiled. That you, how much did you buy that for again?
I got drunk and went to a card store and bought a foiled Horizon Canopy for $20.
Yeah, and anyone else who knows Magic prices can look that up and know that was a good deal. And these
it was right when it came out.
And we'll mention that these are all the Iconic Masters printings.
Yeah.
I also as much as everyone hates on Iconic Masters, I don't hate it. We've gotten so many great cards from that set.
Yeah, no, it was a good run.
We've got we got like 5 cryptics out of there. You want to go over the sideboard really quick?
Yeah.
So, I already have them sorted by quantities.
Yeah, no, I'm just laying them out so we can see them.
Just because I'm that type of dude, I'll take all the singles. Yeah, all 3 of them. So, in the 15 cards, we're doing 1 Hyena Umbra, which we've already talked about.
Yep.
A Defiant Strike, which is target creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn, draw a card for a single white mana. And 1 Burnton Forge Tender, which is a 1/1 for 1 with protection from red. I'm assuming that's for the burn matchup. And sack it to prevent all damage red source of your choice would deal this turn.
And then I've got the 2 other Leyline of Sanctities, just if I'm feeling threatened. I've got 2 Paths, because we all know why.
Because Path is just a great freaking card.
I've got Kataki War Wage. All artifacts have, at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice this artifact unless you pay 1, which was far more relevant, and I think it might become relevant again with
Wurza.
Stoneforge.
Oh, Wurza's doing a lot right now with artifacts,
Yeah.
and there's like 3 Wurza decks right now too that are it's just how many cheap artifacts can you play, and you know it's going to be stupid and degenerate when Louis Scott Vargas is like, you know what, I like playing Modern again, and I like playing this deck.
Right.
I'm holding in my hand 2 Gaddock Teeg, which is great for the Tron matchup. It's a green and white for a 2/2 legendary Kithkin Advisor. Non-creature spells with a converted mana cost 4 or greater can't be played. Non-creature spells with X in their mana cost can't be played. And both from Lorwyn, by the way.
I know.
Yeah.
And I've got 2 Rest in Peace for obvious reasons. I'll read it to you if you don't know what's going on here. When Rest in Peace enters the battlefield, exile all cards from all graveyards. If a card or token would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. And it's an enchantment, so once again, it counts for...
And that also helps a lot
Ethereal
against
Armor.
Dredge and when Phoenix was a thing, any graveyard deck.
Yeah, no, I mean any graveyard deck. So this is my real crazy pick for my side. Ajani, Color of the Pride. It's 1 and 2 white.
So a 3-mana Planeswalker.
3-mana Planeswalker. Comes in with 4 loyalty.
Which is a sweet spot right there.
And it's put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature for the +1.
Mm-hmm.
-3, target creature gains flying and double strike until the end of the turn, which is a finisher.
Right there,
in
yeah.
this deck.
Yeah, you drop it down, heck, even turn 4.
Yeah.
And that's game. That's game.
Especially against,
like a hyper aggro deck.
A creature heavy deck, even like Burn.
Yeah.
You get in.
You just fly above everything.
Yeah. You get over the Goblin and the Swift Spear and then for -8 put X 2/2 white cat creature tokens onto the battlefield where X is your life total. It's a win more card, but in the right matchup, it does work. And I'm holding on to it from when Naya Hexproof was a thing in Innistrad Ravnica. block.
And I absolutely love this deck just because, like we said, it can either come in and do nothing all weekend, or it can come in and just like rise to the top. It's so meta dependent, but it's also so much fun to play. And once you learn the play patterns, it's a great deck to hand someone who's never played Modern and be like, here's how you start.
Well, that was my first Modern deck.
Yep. And what I'm going to do is in the video, I'm going to have images of all the cards, but also in the podcast, and I'm going to have a deck list in the description. So that way, if anyone wants to check it out, they can.
And it fluctuates. I mean, there are a million enchantments, there are a million auras, there are a million...
And it's just waiting for that next set to have the right cheap enchantment to come in and...
I mean, there are some that have come out recently that I want to toy around with. I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to change my deck list, but I'm gonna check it out, see how the cards work.
Yeah, and I'm still at the point where, now that I don't have Faithless Looting anymore, I'm... trying to figure out which deck I'm going to play.
Do you need a hug?
No.
Oh.
No.
I need a hug.
Okay. Bring it in. And welcome back to the Team Garbage Fire podcast. You're still a thrashing, interrupting wumpus of sorts?
Also known as stop, no, don't.
Yes, that is what we say to you a lot. So in this half, we wanted to talk about little things that we have learned over the time of playing Magic, little level ups, little things that have helped our game get better. If you happen to already know these things, congratulations, you are a far better Magic player than we probably are.
Yeah.
But there are still...
I think there are a lot of those.
Yes. I still think it's very important to also do, like, a little bit of learning. Yeah. Because isn't that why we play the game?
Well, I mean, just
always get better. We're just always shooting.
Wumpus.
Yes, we're always interrupting Wumpus and trying to get better at it. And I figured we'd start this section off with I'm the interrupting Wumpus now. Let's start this section off with talking about, like, when we started, like, what's the first booster pack you remember buying? Like, and it was new.
What's one where they were on the flying ship?
Weatherlight. Yeah, I wasn't too far ahead of you. I think Mirage or Visions.
Yep.
Because right after that was Stronghold and then Weatherlight.
Yep.
Well, and you not Weatherlight, Tempest. Because there was Tempest, Weatherlight, Strong. I don't know. I don't remember. It was so long ago. I know everyone who's listening is like, you guys are idiots. You should know all this stuff. But
and why are you doing a Magic podcast?
Yeah. But yeah, I remember specifically Visions, but I do remember having like a bunch of cards from Mirage, and I must have bought them. Because, I mean, I still remember buying like 4th edition and Ice Age starter decks.
So, long story short, Corey and I used to be in a band together. And we were killing time before our set started one day, and we went into this random store, and Corey's like, oh my god, they've got Magic card packs from way back in the day.
I bought a pack of Revised for like $12.
Yeah. And
I think Clone was my rare out of that. Either Clone or Royal Assassin.
And I was like, I had played Magic, and I had kind of gotten out of it at that point because I was more interested in alcohol and women.
Magic's better.
It is. It'll never leave you. Or
says the married man sitting over here. I very much love my wife. In case she's listening,
she doesn't.
I know she doesn't listen.
She doesn't listen. And I was like, man, you're being stupid. Now I wish I had bought a pack too.
Yeah. No, that was my jam back then, was trying to find, like, at that point, old packs. And I mean, like, I think I remember when the Dark was still on sale.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I remember seeing packs of Fallen Empires, and back then all the packs looked the same for the most part. Like, the colors were different and the set name was different, but it had just, like, kind of almost the Magic back, and then they changed the color of it, and in the center instead of having like the color pie essentially just the dark antiquities. I never saw antiquities and I wish I hadn't bought some.
All right, so we are going to do
level ups.
Would
you like to go first or would you like me to go first?
Well, I think since we just talked about my deck, you should go first.
Okay, so one thing that I have picked up from watching, the highest level of play, watching professional Magic, that I never thought of, and I also picked it up through listening to podcasts, even if it isn't about Modern, which I feel like you can still learn a lot about, is remembering you have a second main phase. Remembering you don't have to dump all your mana in the first main phase. And by doing so, you can leave up what looks like mana for, all depending on what colors you're playing, mana for a counterspell, a combat trick, a creature destruction, and to symbolize that maybe there's more going on, which then keeps your opponent on their feet and making them have to think about those decisions as well. And also, if they still, because they'll get priority, and if they want to go with a combat trick, then you still have mana up. You can represent that you can either, again, counter or run over them somehow.
Yeah, I'm going to leave blank and a blue up, and maybe I'll just remand something.
Yep.
And
there's some decks, I feel like the style that I play is usually, unload as much as you can main phase 1. Because like when I was playing Phoenix, the main thing was sticking a thing in the ice and getting all the counters off of it before you're getting it through 3 spells cast, getting all the counters off a thing in the ice, and having a Phoenix in your graveyard before your pre-combat phase.
Yep.
And that's kind of counterintuitive to the lesson that I learned. So it's taking me a little longer to learn it and to put it into practice.
Yeah, I mean, it's very situation dependent.
Yes.
Is the way I would put it.
But it's a smart thing to know that if you have... Okay, so let's say you're playing elves and you have just like... In your grip is just all dorks, let's just say.
Right.
Those dorks aren't going to change combat. It's not going to change the math on that. It's not going to change a whole heck of a lot unless you have something else to then use them with that turn. They've got summoning sickness, so a heritage druid or something like that. But if you can, let's just say you've represented 4 mana up and you go into right before your attack phase, you're representing a collected company. You're representing something else to deter. Yeah, to deter. And then you have your second main phase in which then you can dump your hand, use all your mana, and just like...
Well, and it's almost as important to leave mana up during their turn.
Yes, especially if you wind up... let's use elves again as an example. If you're on the defensive for God knows why, and you're looking down a pile of creatures on the other side of the board, holding up 4 mana does represent a collected company. It represents more bodies hitting the field. And of course, and then you have all this trigger stacking. Stack them the way you need to, and boom, that could be, the downfall of your opponent's turn.
Yeah. No, I mean, and it goes the same way for spirits.
Yep.
You leave up a white, a blue, and X.
Yep.
And
that immediately, to me, says you have Spell Queller in hand.
Even if you don't. And
then I wind up getting into that mental game of, okay, which spell do I care about the least to try and bait it out?
You're right.
Or do I know that Heath's a smart enough player that he'll understand that
you're baiting me.
My opt is not the spell that I want gone. So it's a fun little give and take, but also, like I'm saying, knowing when to hold up mana and knowing when to spend it to not be, like, ooh, I got you, or not trying to like cheat or like next level a person, but just knowing when to leave it up to represent that you have more to do.
Well, it helps a lot when you know the player you're playing against.
Yes, which is, I think, one of our big downfalls, is we know each other too well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know all the freckles on your ass.
I love it when you talk to me that way.
But that actually honestly feeds into what my level up was going to be. But continue with.
I feel like I've you know, I feel like I've covered most of what I have to say about the topic, because it is, again, like we've mentioned, it's situational, but knowing when is a big kind of level up moment. Knowing that, oh, hey, because you get so excited, you've got these cards in your hand and you want to play them, and you're you're excited.
Yeah.
But knowing self-control and knowing when to pull the trigger and when not to.
Well, I think that's really important. Like, you know your deck.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to be familiar with the decks you're playing against.
Yeah,
is really, I think, a big if you're playing against Tron, you just want to go.
Yeah.
You want to do as much as you can before they Tron out on you.
Yeah.
But if you're playing against something like blue-white control,
mm-hmm.
you want to hold back, wait for them to tap out for whatever reason, and then do what you need to do.
Yeah, and so, yeah, it's all dependent on matchups, but
yeah.
There's been a lot of times where I've just dumped my hand main phase 1 and then gone, man, that really didn't affect combat or really the board state in any way that it was profitable for me to do it then.
Right. No, I've been there. I've been there.
I'm then going to give you the floor, sir.
Well, I think my first real level up was just mana. Like, knowing if you're playing a multicolored deck, knowing when to play which. You don't just go, green, black.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to go black. Sometimes, you throw a fetch out there if you don't have anything.
Mm-hmm.
End of your opponent's turn, crack it, bring in a shock, tapped, and it untaps. If you don't have any 1-drops.
Yeah.
There's a lot of finesse.
Yes.
In your mana base, especially in Modern, that it took me a while to kind of figure out, especially because I wasn't when Return to Ravnica came out. I wasn't playing Modern. I was playing Standard. And then the first Modern deck I built was Fish. And that's a monocolored deck, so you don't really have to worry about that too much. Well, it was back then. Now it's Tropical Fish or whatever. I don't give a fuck. But starting to play 2-3 colored decks in Modern, there's a lot of finesse that goes into what, when and how you play your mana.
Yeah, and I'm going to be working on that. I've got a brew that I'm proxying right now, and it's a 3-color, and I want to see. I'm going to have to see kind of how that goes.
And it's all about.
It's all about knowing which ones to get and when, especially looking at you look at your hand and knowing whether it's going to be better for you to fetch during your opponent's turn. Or,
well, and even furthermore than that, it's like, I need green mana. Am I going to be paying 1 life a turn for a Horizon Canopy?
Yeah.
Or
will I be able to find it soon enough?
Well, yeah. It's like I need white mana for my next turn.
Yeah.
I'm going to drop a Bogle, and then do I want to have this canopy on the field to bring in the Ethereal Armor? Yep. Just because we talked about Bogles earlier.
Or do you need to dig further to find another source? In that case, you sack it.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, really, if that's your only land in play, well, you can't sack it for starters, but...
Right. Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. There are many board states where that's relevant, but... Yeah, I mana management was kind of one of the first real level ups for me.
And that was one thing I always just tried to do my best with it, and it helps with knowing the deck. When I was playing Phoenix, and you're digging, casting Manamorphose, doing all that, and you've got to essentially know what spells are you hoping to find, and what's your spread between blue and red.
Right.
Am I more likely to draw a blue spell, because you have to name the mana before you draw a card with Manamorphose. You have to name which 2 colors you're going to add, and it's essentially a gamble. So it's trying to figure out where in that gamble is going to be your best bet.
Yeah.
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 Flavor of the week?
Sounds good.
Okay, I already I got one over here somewhere.
On the board. Let's go.
Okay. Oh, this one's gonna help a little bit, but it's I'm not sure as if you're gonna get it. The Ojutai believe in the Great Wheel. Those who best serve the Dragon Lord are destined to be reborn as dragons.
I'm gonna go red, and I'm definitely gonna go Kamigawa block.
Nope.
On both cases?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Yeah, you didn't pay attention. Yeah, I can tell you don't pay attention to the lore at all.
Nope, not at all.
Also because Dragon Lord Ojutai
Sounded like Kamigawa block.
from the Khans of Tarkir block. It is a blue card called Dance of the Skywise from Dragons of Tarkir.
Hit the little dice thing.
You're
I'll
an
look
asshole.
away.
I mean, you're not wrong.
That one doesn't have any. Neither does that one.
Oh my word.
Here we go.
Okay, I'm ready.
Into light, the good are welcomed, and with the light, the evil are banished.
So that's a white card. Wow. Light, banished. Let's see. That really doesn't help.
Nope.
Can we? Can I use a lifeline?
Yeah.
Is it modern?
Yes.
Okay. Then I have no clue, and I'm going to go with Time Spiral.
Who was the artist? I'm kidding. No, it was Ravnica, and the artist, for those who are curious, is Pete Venters.
Oh yeah, he did a lot of earlier work that I like. So the card was Devouring Light. From original Ravnica, it's Convoke, 1 white. Remove target attacking or blocking creature from the game. Okay, yeah. I do like the art on that.
It is pretty cool.
I
I think one of my life goals is to have like an OG piece of Magic art.
Okay. You want to do one more?
Sure, fuck it, why not?
That doesn't have any flavor text. Neither does that one.
Now?
Okay, here we go. Okay, I was just seeing if I could pronounce that the name that's on bottom, because it's a quote attributed to someone. More horrible than their empty forms are their noble eyes. I dare not strike. Gaddock, Boros, Legionnaire.
Well, that's probably a red and white card, aka gold.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say from original Ravnica block.
Can you narrow it down for me?
No.
You need to.
City of Guilds. What?
So there's Ravnica, City of Guilds, Guild Pact, and Ravnica Dissension.
Dissension.
It is a black-white card. It is Souls of the Faultless. 0/4 defender.
But why would they put a Boros? All right, never mind.
Because he's talking about him. And whenever it is dealt combat damage, you gain that much life, and attacking player loses.
Orzhov.
Yeah, it's Orzhov. But the quote is from the Boros Legionnaire. And it is from Guild Pact. You're close with the original Ravnica block.
And you got half the colors.
Oh, this is going to be a good one.
Okay, I'm ready.
Only in mirrors do heroes find their equal.
Oh, this is from Mirrodin. It's an artifact. Original Mirrodin.
You're half right.
Oh, so it's not an artifact, then it's a white card.
No, you're right about it being an artifact.
Oh,
it's
an
from
artifact.
Betrays of Kamigawa.
I know nothing about Kamigawa.
Nothing. Oh,
Oh, this is a great one. Mirror Gallery artifact. The legend rule doesn't apply. That is it. It's a 5-drop.
Why isn't that an EDH card? I've no.
Because you.
Oh yeah,
It's
it's
a
one
one
of.
of.
Yep. All right, that makes sense.
I mean, if I needed a final card for my deck, I might throw that in. Just as a flavor lose. But just, it'd be great as here's my 5-drop, guys. Legend rule doesn't apply.
Jesus Christ.
And with that final horrible idea.
We will see you guys eventually.
Yeah.
The end. Or as the French say, fini.
As they snay.
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 Snay.